Hi there, welcome back to Pillars of Eternity on Path of the Damned. We're now in the White March. And we're looking for Durgan's Battery or something like that. We're looking for Renengild. Renengild's house. I think it was... Someone said it was here. Was it here? No. The Gref's Rest. Renengild's house. That's where we want to go. But we found something secret, so we're taking that with us. Some silver. The quest. And the messenger wanted us to go to Renengild's house. So let's go to Renengild's house at once. Is that? It should be. What will we find there? I mean, we have stopped the attack of the ogres and we have spectacularly failed to save someone from a burning house. It was Adonan's fault. Yeah, he's the tank. It's his fault. Now, what does this tragedy mean? You see a middle-aged woman and a younger man locked in an argument. Both wear clothes streaked with blood and dirt. The young man turns to the woman, a fresh cut visible below his eye.
They've destroyed the stockade, Mother! It's...
Enough! They're gone.
She holds up a hand, which is missing the final joint of the ring finger. And it's her voice, sharp and steely, that silences the young man. As he glowers at his toes, she turns to you with dark circles under her eyes and a smile pulled taut across her thin lips.
Ah, the champion of Defiance Bay. Must have been a long journey. Well, I'm sure you wagered on a more civilized welcome. Still, we're much obliged for your capable intervention.
She shoots at the young man a brief but stern glare. Ulrich pulls a knife from his belt and an apple from his pocket and sets to work. What do we say? Well... It was no trouble. We were happy to help there. Seems like you were under attack from an inimical tribe against, yeah, the helpless villagers here. So, yeah, that army is, of course, rooting for the underdog. So it was no trouble. I'm here to help, however.
Then perhaps you can help us find something.
She folds the page in her hand with a quick and merciless pinch.
Stalwart isn't much more than a grease stain on a map. What roads we've got in the White March are basically tracks in the snow. And for every trader or adventurer that comes through, 3 of our own leave for good. But it weren't always so. There was a time when kings and queens sent their firstborn to these mountains, when the White March was the envy of empires.
Her eyes shine, and for an instant she looks like a much younger woman. I mean, she's an older woman, and clearly she has grey hair already, so she's not middle-aged. She's closer to 60 or something. I know that's considered middle-age, but in these medieval times, that is more like old age, right? So let's cater to her, remembering the great times. What an era that must have been for the White March.
The Pargrin dwarves transformed the White March once. We could bring some of that greatness back to Stalwart. But we need the White Forge.
And we have the last blade made in the White Forge. She raises the map and taps a spot in the middle of a white and grey expanse. The Pargrin dwarves. Never heard of it.
Of course. Been over 200 years since anyone's felt so much as a summery breeze near it.
She smooths the creased map.
I'm hoping you can do something about that.
She ignores the young man, who shakes his head at the crackling logs. How so?
We've been trying to breach Durgan's battery for over a year now. Problem is, the other expeditions can't so much as dent the front door.
She rubs at her fatigue-shadowed eyes. Yeah, demolishing things is our specialty, so... And that's why you need my help. No, we'd like to know more about, first, the White Forge. Why the sudden interest in that White Forge?
We're an old mining town. Or we were until the Adirans pulled out and left us with a half-dug mine shaft and something resembling an inn.
She thumps the sturdy wooden wall with her fist.
Since then, it's been a steady decline. You've seen the roads. Isn't much we can produce that the Valians can't ship cheaper. But the White Forge... well, if we could fire it up again and start producing Durgan steel, or something close to it, wouldn't matter if we're in the White March or the Living Lands, business would come.
She folds her arms and gives you a stiff nod. Oh, it's all about business now. The young man says nothing, but he tosses a sliver of the apple peel into the fireplace. Tell me about these other expeditions.
A dozen different groups have come through at our request, and several more besides. Been hoping that one of them could clear the way through Durgan's battery. But young or old, green or seasoned, it don't seem to matter. They cast their spells, chisel at the door, and search the grounds until they've worn new treads into the old stone. The lucky ones eventually go home. Plenty more find themselves on the wrong side of a blizzard, or an ogre raiding party.
As we've seen just now, and that's why you need my help.
That's the long and short of it. We're laborers and fisherfolk, not adventurers.
Hey, we also have a baby with us for the Fisher Crane tribe. You don't know where that is?
But Durgan Steel could put Stalwart on the map again. Open up the mines, bring in new business. We just need the White Forge.
She thumps the desk with her fist. So doing good is doing business right now. What a strange event. Why is Durgan steel so special?
Because you can shave stone with it, cleave cast iron in two, and the stuff's as rare as it is remarkable.
In her enthusiasm, Renengild shifts on the balls of her feet. She props one bent arm on the other, pointing distractedly toward the eaves of the house.
If we could make something even half as good, we'd have a market at our doorstep and work enough for all of Stalwart.
For a split second, her gaze flickers to Aldrich. So you want to make weapons for the world. Is that a good thing? We really don't know. We'll see about that. How is it no one's gotten into the Durgan's battery yet?
Where should I start? Ogres, blizzards, or sheer damned inaccessibility?
She takes the items off on her fingers.
It ain't for lack of trying, I'll tell you that much. Got untold riches in Durgan steel lying just inside, and never mind the White Forge itself.
Oh, that's just what we need for our great challenges over and the old world.
The Adirans who first settled Stalwart tried to crack it. So did the Valians, and every other cocky adventurer with more metal than sense.
She folds her arms, shaking her head at a pitted floorboard.
But the place has a funny way of sealing itself up. Front door stays shut, the tower entrances are clogged with rubble, and it's been impossible to blast a way in.
Renengild trails off, and for a moment the room is silent, but for the popping and cracking of the fire. And what happened to Durgan's battery?
It don't bear dwelling on. There's too many superstitions about that place as it is.
She waves her mangled hand in a broad crescent, averting her gaze.
Killed each other off. Or so the old books say.
Aldrich glares at Renengild through hooded eyes.
Plenty of tales to go around, but none of them open the battery. And the last thing people need is another reason to fear the place. Whatever it was, the other Pargrin dwarven settlements in the White March, Bone Picker, the Hawk, and the rest, emptied out not long after, moved to gentler, greener lands.
Had the right idea, if you ask me.
Well, tell me about these Pargrin dwarves.
Pargrin's a word in their language. Means traveler. They've been wanderers for generations, but I couldn't tell you much more.
Wandering dwarves, that's going to be crazy. I don't see why you need the White Forge to make good steel.
Finally, someone talking sense.
He raises his knife, and half-peeled apple to the fire in a dramatic gesture of exasperation.
Durgan steel wasn't just good. It was some of the best. We need the best if we're going to keep Stalwart alive.
She glares at Aldrich even while she speaks to you.
No one alive today has seen the White Forge, but the old stories tell that it was powerful, glowed white-hot, and gave off a steady, even heat, unlike any other furnace.
Yeah, I mean, the good old times. Everyone knows them.
Let better-schooled folk puzzle over how the thing was built. I just want to see it put to use.
Oh. It's going to be interesting. We're curious at least. So, alright, any idea where we should begin?
The battery's up the mountain to the north. A good hike away.
She jerks her head in the direction of the slope behind the house.
Near Galvino's place, huh?
Ulrich says in a breezy tone, but Renengild falls suddenly silent, consternation hardening the lines on her face. Ulrich smiles and draws his knife across the apple again.
So it is. Though I was going to suggest dealing with that ogre camp before anything.
She compresses her thin lips into a frown. And who's Galvino?
Mestre Galvino, as the old crosspatch prefers it, lives by himself and keeps the wilder and beasts at bay through sheer foulness of his temper.
She means to say he's a skilled smith and animancer, who's lived in the shadow of Durgan's battery for over a decade.
So a survivor. He looks over his shoulder at you and Renengild.
And he butters his bread on both sides and fits his left shoe before his right. But that's neither here nor there.
She crosses her arms and crumples the page in one tightening fist. You seem flustered all of a sudden. Did he do something to anger you?
Me and the rest of the town. He knows better than to linger at our gates.
What happened with him?
Old lunatic finally went too far. And we sent word to the Valiant academies. I don't like speaking on it, but if you want to get his guff, just remind him that we gave him the boot.
Ain't nobody here fond of the man, but he's a clever hand and a quick study. It's a fool who thinks he stayed so close to the battery without figuring something about it.
Oh, yes.
You said as much to the last party, and we haven't seen hide nor hair of him since. Maybe they didn't run afoul of Baragon's ogres after all.
So, they're victims of Galvino. She raises a grey eyebrow at him. Maybe they have other souls now. Aldrich shrugs and turns back to the fire.
Just watch your step. Galvino's place is a ways east of the battery, and folk who pass it bring unsettling tales.
These tales, we don't believe them. Tell me about the ogre clan.
Belongs to Flames That Whisper. Matron Baragon's clan. Hunters tell me they've been active of late.
Not only hunters, I mean, they visited your village.
Hunting elk and otherwise minding their own damn business.
He pops an apple wedge into his mouth and chews it aggressively.
Minding their own business. Never mind the latest expedition's disappearance, or the broken stockade.
She pinches the bridge of her nose, squinting.
I'm saying we shouldn't agitate him further.
He makes to toss another slice of peel into the fire, but he fumbles and drops his knife. He bends to pick it up, cursing. Maybe we don't have to kill them. Maybe we can go do diplomacy, ogre diplomacy. What does this matron have to do with anything?
The brawl outside was just the latest patch of trouble. The ogre clans are getting bolder, and we'll all sleep easier knowing they aren't circling our walls. Also, Baragons like to have whatever the last expedition found. Rumor has it they disappeared near her turf.
She crosses her arms and looks over to Aldrich.
Killing a matron will only make our problems worse. The way to approach Baragon is with your hands held high.
If anyone could parley with an ogre, I suppose it'd be you. But they aren't known for their patience with prattle.
All right, got it?
Good. Before you leave town, stop by the Grave's Rest. Most visitors to Stalwart spend some time there, so Hafric and his patrons may be able to give you the lay of the land.
All right. Actually, I want to ask you about something. Something we forgot.
What's on your mind?
You probably know much, as you're an experienced woman. Can you tell me anything about the last expedition that went to Durgan's battery?
They didn't volunteer much, and I knew better than to ask.
She scratches her jaw, frowning.
I've seen all types charging through here. Professional companies with shiny new equipment as brazen as you please, and hopeless runts with nothing but tattered leathers. But these folk, I don't know what they were after, and the way they looked at you made you feel cold all over.
She shakes her head as if dislodging a bad dream.
Wish I could tell you more. What's on your mind?
I want to know more about Stalwart, your village.
Adir founded us back in their colonial days to supply ore to the Empire. Saw a fair bit of traffic from both sides of the White March then.
She rubs the nub of her shortened ring finger.
But after the Deerwood claimed independence, Defiance Bay found cheaper places to get ore. Didn't have much reason to maintain our supply routes.
Isn't Stalwart part of the Durwood?
Officially. Though with the state the roads are in, you wouldn't guess it.
Alright, tell me some of the more important places around town.
Here in the center? Let's see. The Grave's Rest is next door. Hafric can set you up with a room and a hot meal there.
Already said that. And what more?
The fishery's just on the edge of the lake, and the Temple of Andra is next to it.
Oh, nice.
No one keeps a secret like Lavda. Or so I'm told. A few folk live in this part of town, too. Seemed a lot safer before the ogres broke through the western gate. Thiersch lives next to the old mine shaft. And Tana, the old mine overseer, is next door to me.
She jerks her thumb toward the wall. Your neighbor. Nice. And what do you do here?
I'm the mayor. Or so I'm reminded every time there's a game shortage, ogre attack, or a neighborly dispute. I'm a builder by trade, though. Traveled all over Air Glonfoth and the Deerwood in my younger days, but ended up back here anyway.
She gives you a vague smile. That's gone as quickly as it appears. So you're a builder. Have you built a family? Let's talk about something else. And who is Aldrich? Is that your son?
What's on your mind?
I have questions about Durgan's battery and the White Forge.
The Pargrin dwarves guarded it like a mother bear. It's a wonder we know as much as we do.
All right.
What's on your mind?
Well, farewell now. For now, the recluse of the White Marge. Galvino. And the Ogre Matron, another Ogre Matron. Berrigan. That's gonna be interesting. We still have to talk to Aldrich, what he has to say. Wow, and we should probably rest to get to get poor Adonan back to speed. We don't want to run around with critical fatigue. Ouch. So thank you for watching. Happy gaming to you, and see you in the next episode, when we inquire further about the ogres and see what's going on in the White March. Have a good time until then.